Hey everybody, it's Christopher here at the Chelonian Ranch, and today we're looking at Snappy. He's a common snapping turtle, also known as Calidra serpentina. He's a feisty fella. Now these are common snapping turtles because they're in abundance. They're not a threatened species at all. They lay anywhere from 20 to 50 eggs at a clutch, and so these are in abundance, so they're not a protected species of any kind. But what's unusual is Snappy is friendly, lets you pet him. Most snapping turtles, they come across as being aggressive. They're not, they're just defensive. So when they're taken out of the water, which is where they feel more comfortable, they get defensive to protect themselves. So that's why they're defensive, is because they feel the need to protect themselves. But Snappy here, he doesn't feel that because he's been raised with humans and he's been playing with them and snuggling with them for quite some time. Obviously before he was surrendered to us here at the Chelonian Ranch. So he knows humans. He's not afraid of them, and he actually likes hanging out with us. Let's put him down and watch him run around a little bit. Such a beautiful creature. Now I don't recommend doing this with other snapping turtles, of course, because unlike Snappy, they'll be defensive if you take them out of the water. Now most people don't know, but there is a proper way of handling them. Now I handle Snappy differently than I would any other snapping turtle. See, I can do this because I'm not in fear of him biting my fingers or my face or my hands. A normal snapping turtle I wouldn't do this with. You've probably seen online or in different publications, old publications, that the way to handle them was grabbing them by the tail and holding them up and away from your body. That is not true. You don't want to do that because of their vertebrae, which is part of their spine built into their shell, goes all the way down to the tail. And so if you lift them up from it, all of their body weight pulls down on their tail, and you can actually separate the vertebrae. So let me show you the proper way to actually hold a snapping turtle. You want to grab them from behind and hold them under like this and support underneath. Now it gets kind of challenging, a little tricky, because they have really strong, powerful limbs and feet. If you can, this guy's a little fatter than usual, he's a little overweight, but normally you can reach under the shell and hold him from behind. But this guy's got a lot more fat than most snapping turtles. He's gonna have to go on a little bit of a diet. But you want to hold them from the back so that they can't reach their head around. A snapping turtle can actually reach their head all the way back to the back of their shell. He didn't like that. He's like, don't touch the back of my head. So again, just to recap, never grab them by the tail and hold them up, because you will damage their spine. You always hold them from the back of the shell, from the carapace and the plastron down here. Another interesting thing about the snapping turtle is the plastron itself. If you look, it's not a full plastron like most turtles. It's a small plastron, so they can't actually protect all of their body by pulling themselves into their shell like other turtles can, which again is why snapping turtles are defensive and come across as being mean turtles when they're not, because they're always trying to bite you, because they have all of this exposure of their body. So they got to protect themselves somehow, and they do that with these powerful jaws. If they bite down, they can actually go down to the bone in your finger. They have very powerful jaws. We'll put him down, let him walk around for a little bit. He likes to get out here and get some sun. And of course he needs some exercise. Now these turtles do brewmate, which is, it's like a type of hibernation that we know for mammals, but for reptiles it's called brumation. So what snapping turtles will do is they will actually go to the bottom of a pond or a lake or a river and bury themselves down in the sand and bottom substrate real deep and basically sleep. And they can do so for the entire 2 to 3 months of winter time without the necessity of having to come up for air or eat. And they do this by the transference of oxygen through what's known as a cloaca, which is their the area here where they defecate from. That's their cloaca. They can actually take in oxygen through that. And so there's a gas exchange by doing that, and they release all of the toxic gases that are in their system into the water. And that allows them to basically stay underwater for months at a time. And their metabolism and heart rate drastically slow as well, so that they don't eat up their internal reserves for food storage. So they can actually sleep for months on end.